Well, good evening, my friends, and welcome back. Cumberland Outdoorsman down here at my 50-yard shooting range. And what I'm doing is I'm soaking some of this newsprint. As you can see, it's dripping wet. And what I'm going to do today is answer some questions that were left by my viewers in the last video. And one of the questions, which I have addressed before in other videos, but I realize that there's a lot of folks out there that haven't seen my channel or are not familiar with my channel. But I'm going to answer this question either way. And the question is, does 22 hollow point ammunition actually expand? So we're going to answer that question today once and for all. And the reason I like to use this wet newsprint is because it very closely resembles real tissue. You know, it has the right consistency and is just real dependable. And I've used it to test both rimfire and centerfire ammunition. I got the idea from an article years ago. I think it was either Outdoor Life or Field and Stream or something, where an outdoor writer, you know, a hunter, used wet newsprint to test bullets to see how well they would expand at different ranges. I can tell you for sure, with certainty, that 22 hollow point ammunition, especially high velocity, does indeed expand. But we're going to see firsthand right here. I'll show you what I'm doing real quick. I've got a bucket filled with water here, and I've got these newsprint. These are free, by the way. These are local advertisements in newsprint, and they often have a lot of these left over, so I'll pick them up to do expansion tests. You know, folks, I've got some older newsprint here. It's been out here for a few months, but it's still good. You know, you can still test with it. But what I do is I stack this stuff up like this, and then I shoot into it at reasonable ranges. You know, the same ranges where you would encounter game, to see how deeply that it penetrates and also whether or not it's going to expand. Now, there are a lot of videos out there where, you know, you've got folks that use ballistic gel to test different types of 22 ammunition, and it's okay. Quite often, you know, they get good results, but I have found that depending on the temperature when you're testing, you know, whenever that time comes where you get ready to test some ammunition, the temperature makes a big difference on the results you get. But with this, the variability is hardly even noticeable. You know, I've tested this ammunition out here when it was freezing cold, and then I come out here when it's 95 degrees, and I always get consistent results, and that's why I like to use this. Plus, you know, it's not much of a hassle to get it set up. You just got to soak this stuff to where it's really drenched with water, you know, to get a good idea of what it would be like. It would be just like moist tissue, and that's what you're trying to simulate. So let me get this set up, and we'll do a little testing with hollow point 22 ammunition of varying kinds. So hang in there, I'll be right back with you. Well guys, here we are at the shooting bench, and I've got the expansion medium set up down there at 50 yards. And here on the table I've got several different types of 22 hollow point ammunition, including what I recently featured in the last video, this 22 short hollow point. We're going to be shooting it at 50 yards as well. Then I've got the ever famous CCI Mini Mag here, 22 long rifle hollow point, and I've already proven how good this ammunition is in another video. I should leave some links in the description below so that you can watch those videos, and this stuff performed really well at both 50 and 100 yards. Next, I've got some of this Ely Subsonic. This is extremely accurate ammunition. It's not as fast traveling as the other stuff that I've got here on the table, but it's a 38 grain 22 long rifle hollow point. I'll get one out of the box here and show it to you. Very well made. I mean, just super accurate, match-like accuracy. I've shot one whole groups using this stuff at 50 yards, and it really does a number on small game. But we're going to see if even this ammunition will expand at that distance. Next, I've got this Winchester 22 long rifle high velocity hollow point. There you can see, very generous hollow point on that bullet. We're going to try all these. We're going to take a shot each and see how well this stuff will expand. Next, I've got this Remington Golden Bullet high velocity hollow point. There you can see, it's a true hollow point. This is long rifle ammo. And, you know, after testing all this, I think we'll find out for sure whether or not 22 ammunition will indeed expand. Here I've got some Remington 22 Cyclone. This is also in hollow point. It is not a coated bullet, it's just a lead round, you know, a 36 grain hollow point lead round. And we'll give it a try down there at 50 yards and see how well it does. So, without further ado, this is going to be kind of a short video. I'm just going to take a few shots downrange, go retrieve those bullets, and show you firsthand how well they performed. Okay, the test rifle for the day is once again my Remington bolt action model 581, and I've already got the magazine charged with the ammunition that I want to test here. So let's get zoomed in on that target down there. As you can see, between the two squirrels just below them, there's a square block of expansion medium made up of wet newsprint. Now the first round we're going to be shooting is the CCI 22 short high velocity hollow point. This is 50 yards, folks. So here we go. Okay. The next round is going to be the Ely subsonic hollow point, 36 grain. And by the way, that 22 short was 27 grains. Okay. The next round is the CCI Mini Mag high velocity hollow point. I think you could hear the difference in that one. Okay. Next we got the Winchester high velocity 40 grain hollow point. Wow, that was pretty loud as well. Okay, next up we got the Remington Golden Bullet high velocity hollow point. And lastly, the Remington Cyclone high velocity hollow point. All right. Okay, my friends, rifle action is open, safe to go downrange. Let's go see what we got here at the 50-yard mark. Tell you what, I get my exercise going up and down this shooting range for you guys, making these videos, but I don't mind. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy shooting 22s, especially old ones, as you all do, and testing this ammunition is just the icing on the cake. So here we go. All right. Looks like we made contact with every shot. as you can see, we got some pretty good tissue destruction there. Still penetrating. Okay, we've got one that's stuck in here, and I suspect that's the 22 short. And it is, and it did expand, by the way. Okay. Let's keep digging here. As can be expected, the high velocity hollow point ammo really penetrated quite deeply because it's carrying more weight. Okay, I think we got some bullets here. There's the Remington. Yep, that's the Remington. Okay, there's the golden bullet. This was the Cyclone, and that was the golden bullet. Either way, we've got one round that made it all the way to the end here. Ah, here we go. That's the mini mag. As you can see, it fully expanded. It actually penetrated deeper than any of the other ammunition here. You know, that little CCI mini mag is a pretty hot little round, honestly. I mean, it outperforms most other long rifle ammunition as far as I have seen. I'm going to leave the camera down here and zoom in on that target. That way you can see the impact firsthand. Okay, my friends, we're back down here at the target, and I fired the 22 short, the CCI mini mag, the Winchester, and the Ely subsonic hollow point. Now hopefully we can recover some of these rounds so that we can get a good example of what this stuff is actually capable of. Okay, here we have the 22 short once again. Does not penetrate as deeply as the long rifle ammo, as is expected. But there it is. There you can see it right there as I'm digging it out. That is fully expanded. In fact, this round looks identical to one that I got out of a squirrel a couple of years ago, where the bullet did not exit, and I retrieved the expanded hollow point short. And that's pretty much what I got right there. Okay, here we have a beautifully mushroomed Ely subsonic hollow point. Beautiful. Great example. Okay, let's keep going. I think we're going to find the mini mag and the Winchester, hopefully. That Winchester is really hot stuff, let me tell you. All right, we have some bullets here. Okay, I happened to find the Ely Subsonic that I shot the first time. There it is. I'm going to try and hit a more solid portion of that right there so that we can stop that bullet. So let me take a few shots and then we'll close out the video showing you the results of my test here. All right. Well, as you can see, we made contact once again, but well, I'll tell you what, those Winchesters really make a mess. I mean, look at that crater. That's 3 shots. Wow. Very hot little rounds there. Hopefully we can find at least one of them. I'm seeing little bits of copper and lead, but yet I'm seeing holes here as well. And it's starting to slow down now. I know this is older newsprint, but it still works quite well to stop these bullets and hopefully find one. Okay, here's a piece of one. That's part of the nose cone there. Still going. Okay, here's one. Here's what's left over. These are really coming apart, so, you know, I think this answers the question quite well. There's another one. Does 22 ammunition expand if it's a hollow point? No doubt about it. Okay. Well, look at that. There's one stuck in the newsprint right there. Right there, folks. The whole front of the bullet is gone, and you only have about half of it left, maybe 2/3, but the rest of the front of the bullet where the hollow cavity was is completely shredded off of it. Well, guys, I've got most all these bullets recovered here. I've got 3 of them in my hand now. And let's go to the shooting bench and I'll get them all lined up and we'll see what kind of results we got. Okay, guys, here on the table in front of me, you can see I've got the ammunition that I tested lined up for observation. First of all, we've got the Winchester 22 long rifle high velocity hollow point. And as you can see, the rounds that I recovered here, the front portion where the hollow cavity of the nose was is just completely gone. And I did recover one piece there where it shredded off of the bullet. So definitely, those definitely expand. Secondly, the Ely Subsonic hollow point. Beautiful mushrooms, as you can see. Very positively mushroomed at the distance of 50 yards. There you can see the base. and it retained most of its weight. But I really wanted to test this 22 short hollow point by CCI. And as you can see, the rounds that I fired into the test medium down there, they really flattened out, expanded quite well. One of them I think didn't fully expand because I believe it hit a softer area. I don't know. But the others completely expanded. And like I mentioned, this looks very similar to what I recovered out of some of the small game that I've skinned and dressed. This is what comes out, these flattened little discs, whenever the bullet does not completely penetrate the animal. So that's proof positive that that wet newspaper really simulates tissue, okay? Now, of course, we also tested the CCI Mini Mag, and if you have not seen the video where I've actually tested this ammo out here, this proved to be not only extremely accurate, but also very effective. I mean, look at that mushroom. That mushroom came all the way down to the base, and it retained most of its weight, actually. That was the bullet that I was able to recover. Then we have the Remington Golden Bullet in hollow point, high velocity hollow point, and once again, it performed very well, and it fully expanded. Beautiful mushroom there. Okay, now lastly, we've got this Remington Cyclone 22 hollow point, and it performed quite well. It mushroomed fully. Maybe not as much as some of the other high velocity ammo that I've got here on the table, but still very admirable results, and should prove to anchor game very solidly. You know, if you've got a rifle that shoots the Remington Cyclone, then, you know what I mean by shoots, if it shoots it accurately, then you've got a good value here. I picked this up at Walmart and didn't pay much for it. So it should make a good hunting bullet. Well, my friends, as you can see, the daylight is fading here, so it's time to go ahead and close out this video. That brings us to the conclusion of another test regarding the 22 Rimfire, and I wanted to get a variety of ammunition in 22 hollow point to bring it out here and test it to show you the results firsthand, so that in case your rifle shoots either one of these types of ammunition accurately, you can be assured that you'll get reliable expansion between 0 out to 50 yards and even beyond. It does me no good really to do the test right here. You're not going to be encountering game right up close. You know, it's usually at a distance of 20, 30, 40, 50 yards, maybe even further. So I wanted to give you realistic results right here at my 50-yard range. And the test medium that I use is wet newsprint, and through the years I've found it to be the most consistent in simulating real tissue. That's the reason I used it. Now, another thing that you need to keep in mind is as the velocity increases, so does bullet expansion. The faster that projectile is traveling, the more upset you're going to get. You know, it's going to expand quicker and more violently as the velocity increases. So I think in most cases, these 22 rounds will give you adequate results on small game. And quite honestly, you know, if you use something like the CCI Mini Mag, it's probably a little too much for squirrel-sized game, although a lot of successful hunters really like it because it's accurate out of most 22 rifles. I found good results using the Remington Golden Bullet. You know, it's performed really well for me, and here lately it's actually performed better than it ever has. And the CCI 22 short hollow point, I've been using it for years and years, and I've harvested a lot of small game with it. It's very reliable and quite accurate out of some of my rifles. You just have to test it out to see whichever round is most accurate in yours. So with that being said, let me go ahead and close out this video before I lose all the light out here. In wishing you well, thanks a lot for watching. I do appreciate it very much. And remember, If you like to go hunting, fishing, camping, shooting, hiking, no matter what your outdoor pursuit happens to be, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. But also remember this, hit the like button, smash the bell icon, and subscribe. That way you'll know when more videos like this one will be coming your way. So until next time, y'all take good care of yourselves and get out there and enjoy the great outdoors. I'll be seeing you.